everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the John and Wendy Show here live from the Outlaw Nation Twitch channel. I am the John half of that title here for the show, the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by the Wendy half. Wendy Lee, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing so good. How are you?
I'm good. It's it's the end of a very busy week. A lot of stuff is happening. It's weird, Wendy. What is it? April already?
I know.
Does it feel like we're in summer movie season? Does it feel yet? Even though we're like in April, usually it's been starting earlier and earlier every year, but this year feels a little like it's a slow ramp up to summer season. Here we go. How does it feel that way to you?
I feel like things are ramping up faster but I think I may also feel that way because the last 2 years we've been stuck at home and not having in-person screenings, and now in-person screenings are back and they can get pretty full. Everybody's still wearing their masks indoors when it comes to press screenings, and people are still, checking our vaccination cards. So like, I really appreciate the studios to taking that extra step to making sure that their staff is safe and that they're making sure the journalists are safe, because then, when a massive amount of people get infected with the COVID, then it's all of a sudden like, hey, sorry, I can't go. And then you're going to have to dish out all those, online screeners again, which is less secure than inviting people to the movies, because people don't generally have their phones out while they're watching a film.
Yeah.
But I do feel like things are getting quite busy. Like, I look at my calendar and I feel overwhelmed when I look at it. But I also, nowadays, I get overwhelmed kind of easy. So there's that too.
Yeah, no doubt. Me too. It's just so much happening all at once. You're just like, okay, what do I do here? What do I do there? What's going on? It's a lot of stuff going on. You got to put it together. I mean, last week I had 4 screenings last week. So I was like, okay, here we go. We're starting to ramp up. Let's get it going. Going.
Didn't you do 2 movies in one day?
Yeah, 2 movies in one day. I saw Morbius in the morning at 10 a.m. Went back home, recorded a couple of shows, and rolled on out right back to the same theater for a 7 p.m. screening of Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. So very busy. I didn't get home till 11 and I was wrecked, absolutely wrecked. So,
what's funny is something similar for me as well, schedule wise. We also saw Morbius. That's this weekend. Morbius at 10 a.m. at it was the Century City theater.
Right.
Beautiful theater, beautiful mall. And then the next day at 11 a.m. was Fantastic Beasts. And somehow in my crazed state of just, I guess, not sleeping, because on Tuesday nights, how when Moon Knight comes out, I do the editing for our reaction, which everybody please watch, because it is underperforming. So go to the Movie Couple channel and watch. I am so mad. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, what happened? Anyways, I got like an hour of sleep that night, because I had to wake up at 6:30 so I could leave the house at 7:30 to make sure I beat the crazy traffic going over to Century City from Pasadena. So I was really tired, and I wrote down on my calendar that the Fantastic Beasts screening was going to be at the Grove at 11 a.m. So I'm like, forgot to set my alarm. I woke up at 9:30 and I was like, oh my God, I woke up so late. And I was like, it's okay. It's the Grove. It's fine. And then I looked at the confirmation email just to double check, and it's at Century City. I was like, Navi, let's go for a walk right now. Let's go. I made it there with 4 minutes to spare.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, one of the gifts of being down here is that there's rarely any traffic, and the screenings are rarely full. So, but sometimes you have to have those screenings that are combo screenings with fans that have been specially invited and yourself. So I like the screenings where it's just the critics, because there's like usually 10 people. But with the fan stuff, sometimes it can get a little hairy. Certainly Fantastic Beasts screening had people dressed up in the Harry Potter gear, which I didn't know transferred all the way down to San Diego. I thought that was an LA thing or a big city thing. And seeing people like full on in the wizard gear, wearing the skirts, wearing the sweaters, wearing the robes, having the wands, the ties, the whole nine. It was incredible to watch. And I just was like, none of you know that I was a wand keeper, and I'm just having such a great time.
Bust out the accent.
No way.
Do the whole dialogue. Your opening monologue.
You may be surprised by this, but I do not like to draw attention to myself in the public places like that in that way. I really like to just sit down with my popcorn and my Coke and just watch the movie and then get on out of there as soon as possible. So, no, they were great. It was great. And it was nice to see that excitement. And you could hear people reacting to things. And, I'll have my review of that film coming up here, but later on. But like to me, it was just like, it was nice to be around that atmosphere and feel that again. Because it'd been so long since I felt. I mean, I kept my mask on the whole time, but I still was nice to be around it. So
absolutely,
I'm slowly getting okay with more people being there. Like slowly getting okay with it. I'm slowly, like everyone, everywhere, everything, everywhere, always. I was like, but this time I was a little more calm. So we shall see. But anyway, we're here to talk about a lot of entertainment news happening, some breaking news as well. Get into all of this as we do the show here. And remember, please, the Streamlabs and Super Chats are open, or not Streamlabs, rather. You send in some bits, send in some support with some cheers, but the Streamlabs are open, not the Super Chats. The Streamlabs there, where Wendy is pointing. That's the address you want to be sending your stuff in, and I'll put it in the chat periodically as we go along here to send in some support. Any questions, thoughts, or comments that you have you want us to address, we will address. So, Wendy, where shall we start?
I think we got some breaking news in regards to comedian Jerrod Carmichael.
Yeah. Jerrod Carmichael, that's a good place to start here. Jerrod Carmichael's got a special coming out called Nathaniel, and it's dropping tomorrow. And he is hosting. Well, no, actually, it's out now. But it comes out tonight, rather, and he is hosting SNL tomorrow. And in the special, which was taped at the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York City, he talks about his family, he talks about his life, telling the jokes. And for some of you who know Jerrod Carmichael, he's an unusual stand-up because he can be quite abrasive, but with a very chill tone, very quiet tone. So it kind of disarms you, it throws you off. But his humor is very funny. I've enjoyed him as a stand-up as well. And he came out during the stand-up. It was a massive deal. He's come out as gay in the stand-up. And he tells a story about his father cheating on his mother for years. And he looks at his audience and says, after that was out in the open, I was left alone feeling like a liar because I had a secret, one that I kept from my father, my mother, my family, my friends, and from you, he says in the stand-up, professionally, personally. And the secret is that I'm gay. And then there's this long pause because the audience doesn't know what to do. And then they start to clap. And he said, I'm accepting the love. I really appreciate the love. My ego wants to rebel against it because I've rebelled against it my whole life. But this is who I am. And so just a fascinating guy here. His stand-up called Home Video came out in 2019. That was really a big one that kind of announced him. He's hosting SNL tomorrow night. So I wonder how much of what he says in this special, the idea of him coming out, how much of that is going to play into things. And remember, the Don't Say Gay bill has been signed by DeSantis, and now Fox News and DeSantis are going on full blitz against Disney the last few days, attacking Disney, accusing Disney of trying to brainwash their children into a woke mindset. All of that
overuse. Sorry, just the overuse of the word woke by some people is just, let's just find a new word. Let's maybe look at what the word actually, the definition of it.
Right.
I just can't even.
So, I agree with you, by the way, but it's a buzzword that they're using because it gets their listeners, their followers hyped up and angry about the possibility that you could actually have exactly what supposedly is being taught in the church, is that everyone is equal and we can hold hands and see each other as equal, when in fact, in practice, that is not happening for some people, unfortunately. So this idea of it woke or whatever it is, it's just ridiculous. It essentially means that everyone is equal. Let's treat each other as equals. Let's respect each other, no matter the race or the gender or the creed or sexual orientation. And I think that's where things stop. So that's where I feel like Jerrod Carmichael coming out as gay is kind of a huge deal here in this world, Wendy. I mean, doing it during a stand-up special, I don't know if I've ever seen that before in all the years that I've watched stand-up comedy. What about you? What's your reaction to this?
I think it's really, I think anytime anyone comes out, first of all, it should be, on their own time and on their own term. And if he finds it the best for him and he feels the most comfortable doing it this way, and as a comedian, maybe that is an outlet that he is so comfortable with and he can kind of speak to it almost from, you know how there's like, not saying he's putting on a different personality, okay? But
Right.
when we go on camera, sometimes we kind of remind ourselves we're on camera. You want to, you know, behave accordingly. Just don't I don't know, don't act crazy or something like
Right.
that.
Exactly.
And sometimes maybe he, as he steps on stage, he is kind of in a different mind frame, so
Yeah.
he feels like he can speak about it this way. Or a lot of comedians we know, you know, there's obviously a lot of improv, but there's also a lot of writing and preparation ahead
Yeah.
of any comedian stand up. You know this, John.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You've done some stand up stuff, so sometimes they write it out, and maybe in the way he has done it, he found it, he started writing and the word just flowed from pen to paper, and
Yeah.
he thought, I'm going to do it this way. And
Yeah.
sometimes that is the best way to gather your thoughts as you're preparing for your upcoming show, and you write it out this way so
Yeah.
he can, you know, really take a look at his words, and he wants to make sure that he gets everything across that he wants to get across, and he can, you know, put that out uninterrupted.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good way to put it out, and certainly I feel like it'll be touched on when he hosts SNL,
Yeah.
or he doesn't have to. You know, it's
Yeah.
totally up to him.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, I proud of
it's
him.
yeah. I mean, if nothing else, right? Exactly what you said. He's proud of him. We should be proud of him. This is how he wanted to do it. This is the way he felt was correct for him. And so there's nothing wrong with that. And so this is what works for him. And it's his stand up. You've paid the money to come watch him. He's going to talk about what he wants to talk about. And one of those things he wants to talk about is coming out. And it's so fascinating to see him coming out to his audience and apologizing to his audience about coming out. So, and this was something that I want to give a little credit to my friend Jeff Snyder, who of course is the co-host of the Hot Mic with me on the channel now. He's the one that was announcing that a black comedian was going to go, a black actor was going to come out, and you know, that this was a big deal, it was going to be massive. And some people were accusing him of exploiting that situation or outing this actor before he was going to be outed in his own way. And he has said yesterday on the Hot Mic that stay tuned to SNL, because SNL is going to be fire apparently this week. So there's going to be some stuff that goes down tomorrow night on the show. Just kind of giving a little bit of a warning of what might be happening here. And he took a lot of crap for it. And he was just reporting because he got a chance to see this special ahead of time and knew what was going to happen. So he was just teasing this situation to let people know that this was coming. So, but fascinating to see a bunch of people get upset about it. And to be fair, there were some gay pundits, some from members of the LGBTQ plus community, who felt Jeff was outing somebody against their will, or outing somebody without asking or checking with them first. But clearly this was on tap and coming, since Jerrod Carmichael had recorded this a while ago and is now dropping it on I think on HBO Max. So yeah, to me it's a great thing, and you know, let it be. And the more this happens, the more strength to these people who are able to come out, because it's not an easy thing to do. And so much love and respect to them for being able to do so, for sure. All right, let's move on to something else here, Wendy. We got another thing, and that's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is retiring from acting. What's this all about?
This is surprising to me as well, because I feel like I've always enjoyed Jim Carrey in his various roles. And most recently, obviously, we've seen him as Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog. The sequel is about to come out. And it looks like that he may be finished with acting after Sonic the Hedgehog too. So he was asked while he was speaking with Access Hollywood how serious he was about retiring from acting, and he said, quote, fairly serious. And he said probably, and he said it really depends. Obviously it's a kind of a big thought, you know, to completely retire from. Yes, he's done it for a while, but this retirement isn't taking a break. It's like you're just done. But he says here, if the angels bring some sort of script that is written in gold ink that says to me that's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road. But I am taking a break. I really like my quiet life. Let's see here.
Yeah, and he said, "I really like
Yeah,
putting paint on
there it is.
canvas." Yeah,
My
yeah.
thing jumped on me because one of the
Oh,
videos popped up.
no worries.
I like putting paint on canvas, and I really like my spiritual life, and I
Mhm.
feel like this is something you might never hear another celebrity say. As long as time exists, I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough.
Yeah,
And, like, as much as it saddens me to think that maybe Sonic would be the last time we see Jim Carrey act,
yeah,
he has done a lot, and he has done enough, and if he's getting ready to embrace that quiet life,
yeah.
let the man be.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 2, actors, this week for different reasons talk about
Yes.
leaving the business. Certainly Bruce Willis with the, aphasia diagnosis, and we don't know
Yes.
if that's something that he's going to be recovering from, because people have recovered from aphasia, so we'll see, or if this is a full retirement and it's a slow decline cognitively for Bruce, we don't know.
Mhm.
But with Jim, it's a different situation, and I'll tell you this, I kind of understand where he's coming from, and this is starting to happen more and more. Actors, performers, athletes, schmodown players, they're realizing that, you've accomplished enough. You've hit the wall. You've done all you can do. What more can you do? And maybe
Mhm.
retiring to a nice, quiet life to enjoy the surroundings, enjoy the wealth, enjoy all of that is not a negative thing. And doing it while your body can enjoy it. Your body is still, down to do the things that it wants to do and can be really taken care of. Because sometimes people keep acting, being on sets, traveling around the world, doing the junkets, doing the press, doing all those, doing the premieres. That can exhaust you after a while.
Oh,
And maybe,
yeah.
yeah, and maybe Jim has kind of said, you know what, I'm good. I've got enough money, got a nice
Yep.
house. I've got residuals coming in for the rest of my life for these great films that I've done. People still love these comedies and still keep watching them and buying them and renting them and showing them and whatever. He's going to be fine.
Mhm.
But he does create the space for if something incredible comes along. And I think that's great because certainly Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Truman Show, even
Yes.
even the Majestic, you see what Carrie is capable of in a dramatic way. And so
Mhm.
maybe he's waiting for the right role down the road to bring him out. But if this is it, he's done an incredible job with Dr. Robotnik. At least from the first movie. I haven't seen the second movie yet, but from the first movie, this was old school 1990s Jim Carrey, and he looked like he was having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So if this film, the second film, is even just as good as the first one, and it's Jim having even more fun, then those are 2 great ways to go out. Those 2 films saying, "Hey, this is my last 2, and it was fun." And I think that's awesome. You got to know when
Yeah.
you're done. You got to know when you're done.
Yeah. And I liked I feel like we've followed his journey. He's
Mm,
gone from everybody think he can just do, like, slapstick comedy,
yeah,
all the way to it's like, no, this man's got layers. He has,
yeah,
those acting chops, and he certainly has made his mark on Hollywood.
yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that he wants to retire, to
Right.
just kind of enjoy life. And you're right. I don't think it's maybe retirement isn't like the best terminology, I guess, but
Mm.
for lack of better word, it's a very, very long break.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not a completely closed door. He's not,
Right.
ending it all. He's saying if the right script comes along, because people are going to continue to pitch him scripts,
Sure. It's
it's going
Jim
to
Carrey.
happen.
Yeah.
Some directors or storytellers out there may be crafting a story right now, and they
Mhm.
could really see Jim Carrey in that role, and maybe it gets
Yeah.
across his deck, and he feels something when he reads that, and he can say, "Yeah, I can bring this to life."
Yeah.
And we'll see him again. But for right now, he's just gonna go and live his life,
Mhm.
and I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll give some love to Travis Earl, who sent in a cheer for 100. Thank you. I appreciate that, Travis Earl. Very kind of you. Seeing you here in the chat. Thanks to everybody. About 35 of you joining us right now live. Appreciate that madly. Great to see some of the old people have been joining us here every week. So appreciate it. And some new people jumping in to join us
Yeah.
live as well. Always fun to see here on the channel. We appreciate it madly when you do join us. So just giving you some love here, and 2 subscribers, Supersonic X 1991, Langley M Neely 1 have just followed. So thank you
Thank
very much for
you.
following the Outlaw Nation channel. All right, yeah, people were mentioning no, not Truman Show. Oh, Man on the Moon, which I forgot about.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
also fantastic dramatic performance for sure. All right, where shall we head off to next here, Wendy?
Well, let's talk a little bit about Transformers. It's one of Rocha's favorite franchises. However, the director of
Uh-huh,
many, many Transformers
uh-huh.
films says, I made too many. Rocha, you feel like he's made too many?
This is the quote. And listen, I know people hate Michael Bay, and I get it. And I think most people hate Michael Bay because they wish they could swagger around like Michael Bay. That's my personal opinion, why people hate Michael Bay. I get it, always bro cinema and all of that. Yeah, I get it. But the man is who he is. And wouldn't you like to be as self-actualized and as fully realized as Michael Bay is? Anyway, he says, he says he's talking about this whole thing with Transformers. Says, I made too many of them. Steven Spielberg said, just stop at 3. And I said, I'd stop. Then the studio begged me to do a 4th. And then that made $1 billion too. And then I said, I'm going to stop here. And then they begged me again. I should have stopped, but they were fun to do. So, so here's the deal. I mean, he made $4.5 billion off these movies, but certainly the last one, Transformers the Last Night, that was the one that was kind of broke the camel's back. People kept coming to see these other installments over and over and over again, much to the dismay of many of the critics and many of the people who love film. They were just upset at how many people were coming to see Transformers films and push them over the $1 billion mark or the $900-800 million mark. It was frustrating for a lot of people, but you know, he hit his wall. Maybe he did one too many, obviously, with Last Night in the box office, but this is classic Michael Bay. The studio begged him. Steven Spielberg told him not to. The film's made $1 billion casually throwing that out. So it's just brilliant, you know, because Michael Bay is so rich and he doesn't care what anyone says about him. And those films he guided to $4.5 billion in the box office over those 5 films. And not a lot of people in the history of cinema have ever done that with a franchise. And so incredible work by Michael Bay. And, you know, I love those Transformers films because they're fun, turn your brain off films. But I love the fact that he's finally admitting maybe he did one too many. You know?
Maybe just one too many, but it is hard to stop when the studio's like, look how successful it is.
Right.
And you're like, you know what? I had fun on the last set. Why not?
And
why not?
I heard from a number of people who are friends of mine who work with people in Paramount who apparently were like, oh, they didn't want Michael Bay anywhere near it. Those people, but the executives, of course, saw the money that the films were making and certainly wanted him to come back. So I don't know if they begged him. I love that Michael portrays it that way, but I'm sure they asked him strongly and were quite persistent in trying to get him to come back, even though a majority of the fan base, maybe not a majority of the moviegoers, it feels like a majority of the fan base did not like these Transformers films and let it be known all over social media. But in the end, people kept coming to see these things over and over and over again. So I can't deny that.
Yeah, exactly.
Drunken Pryor saying it best. I'm sure Michael Bay cries himself to sleep on piles of cash thinking about people. I'm sure he does.
Watching like two or 3 days later, maybe a week later, we're going to get another announcement of another Transformers by the one and only Michael Bay.
It's a new Transformers. I'm down.
In a new universe. Start it all over again.
I love it. All right, let's see. We got any Streamlabs? Yeah, Drunken Prayer sent one. He says, hi, John and Wendy. Favorite Jim Carrey movie? Oh, Chris.
Oh, man.
Oh, Chris, you bastard.
How do I pick one? Maybe we do top 3.
Okay, top 3. Now, let me break
in no particular order because I can't. I'm not doing an order because they'll change.
Yeah, that's right. Change tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's how good his films are. All right, I would say number 1 for me, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is just number 1. I know it's not a comedy, but it's my number 1 favorite Jim Carrey film.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go Ace Ventura?
You could go as Ace Ventura.
Dumb and Dumber or The Mask? I guess I have to go Ace Ventura as, you know what? No, this is my personal top 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Me, Myself, and Irene is number 2.
Great. Yes.
Yes Man is number 3. Those are my
Oh, right.
I love Yes Man. Love Yes Man. You know, Man on the Moon is cool. Majestic is cool. These other films are cool, but my personal opinion, and Truman Show is cool, but I go back and watch all 3 of those films. And listen, Liar Liar is probably a tie for number 3 as well, because I love Liar Liar. What about you?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind's got to take the number one
Yeah,
spot.
absolutely.
Even though it's not comedy, I know mostly we know Jim Carrey as a comedic actor, but I
Mhm.
really, really love that film. And then, ooh, I think I want to put The Mask in there because it's kind of iconic.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I'll put The Mask, and then I'm gonna have to, as much as I love Dumb and Dumber, I'm gonna put Liar Liar above it. I love Dumb and Dumber, but Liar Liar hits different.
I agree.
So that's
Oh,
my top 3, and then honorable mention to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, because without
oh,
that movie, I would have never started working at Universal Studios Hollywood at
wow.
Grinchmas, and that was a very special time. Did like I think like 4 or 5 runs
Wow.
of that. So
I didn't know that. That is awesome. Okay.
what? You didn't know that was Jim Carrey?
No, I didn't know that that influenced you to go work at Universal. I did not know that.
Oh,
I've
Grinchmas?
never had,
Yeah.
yeah, I've never had that conversation with you. Wow.
So here's the funny thing, quick
Yeah.
sidebar, is that I really wanted to do Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, but I wanted to do as a stilt walker.
Right. Right.
But I'm 5'1", so you put me on stilts, I am 7'1",
She's
where you
normal
put
size. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Where you put, 6-foot boys
Mhm.
on stilts, and then they're 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right? That's intimidating, and their
Yeah.
frame obviously much bigger than mine can ever be. That's just
Mhm.
how I'm built, and that's just how
Just
they're built.
genetics. Yeah.
It's just how it is. So as great as it was, the stilt audition, she was very nice. Casting director, she pulled me aside. She said, "You're really great. We can't cast you as a stilt walker. I noticed was the only thing that you wanted." She's like, "We're done casting for the roles, and you're just so small." She's like, "Would you consider any other roles?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "You should come back for Grinchmas." But the long
Oh,
pause she had as she looked me in the eye when
right.
she said that, that almost made me go, "Is that a big
A little bit,
hint?
a little bit
A
of a
big hint?"
hint. Yeah.
Yeah, so I came back, a month later for Grinchmas auditions, made it all the way through, and I was like, "What is this?" Yeah. So, and then I did 5 years of that. So that was fun, being a Who on
Yeah.
stilts.
I was close to doing it. I think we talked about this, and
You should have done it. You could have been the mayor.
my friend talked me
Mayor
out of it.
Mayhew.
My
Why?
friend talked me. He said, "When you get sick, you have to stick the Q-tip in there. You can't actually take the nose off and blow your
It's not
nose.
that bad.
It's the worst," is what he said. So he
It's not
talked
that
me out
bad.
of it.
Who
He
was
talked
it?
Shannon
Maybe he
McClung. McClung talked me out of it. That's the truth.
has he done it? Do I
No,
know it?
he's never done it, but he had friends who
Then
did
why
it.
is he saying
I don't know. I don't like to. But if I had done that, I would have run the gamut, right? Because I would have done Harry Potter,
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights, which I did as the Walking Dead thing, and Grinchmas. I think I would have
Yeah.
run the gamut in only 2 years of being at the park, which would
Yeah,
have been
you would have done it all.
really
It
fun.
would have been, and it's
Yeah.
shorter because I think they would have put you in the plaza for the main show. I don't think they would have
Oh,
put you where I was. Um, so you would have been there was a lot of acting, a lot of improv, a lot of
I'd have killed it.
interactions that
Oh,
you would have had
oh
a
yeah.
great time going back and forth between you and the Grinch.
Oh my god.
You could
Totally.
have had a great time. I wish he hadn't talked you out of it. Shannon, why?
Shannon. Well,
Why?
maybe someday
Also
down the road.
also, like, the money was really good.
Oh,
It was, like,
yeah.
really good. Just saying.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's move on there about the money I lost.
Oh, no.
I mean, we were
Alright.
getting making good money as well. But anyway, all right.
Alright.
What's our next thing here? And I just put it in the chat here, ladies and gentlemen. Streamlabs address to send in some love, and thank you to Drunken Prayer sent in some support here. You can always send us cheers and bits, and send us some Streamlabs as well to show some love. Where are we off to next, my man? Wendy, sorry, my man.
That's okay. Let's see. We gotta talk about, I know it's been after this, you and I aren't gonna talk about this at all
Yeah, this is the
anymore.
end of it.
This is the end of it, but it's just that you and I haven't had a chance
Yeah,
to chit
true.
chat about it on the
Fair
show.
point. Fair point.
So we're gonna talk about it, and I think it's kind of nice because we've had almost a whole week to process
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
So we're gonna talk about the one thing that everybody is only talking about at the Oscars for now, and then we're gonna shift into the other stuff that everybody should be talking about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this Will Smith, Chris Rock situation.
Okay.
You and I both did a watch along here on
Yes.
Twitch,
Yes.
and I put the moments up. I think it's on my TikTok. I don't think I put on any other place in
Yeah.
the social media. Just my like in real time reaction to what was happening, and I
Yeah.
straight up thought it was a bit. uh for even after he mouthed those words, even after I saw the uncensored stuff, and immediately there were so many thoughts in my head of like, of course he should have defended, he should be defensive of someone he loves. But then I was like, yeah, sure. But then I stopped myself. I'm like, but he straight up smacked another person on national TV. Like it and then my thoughts sort of snowballed into what kind of precedent is this going to set for future comedy club shows that's just going to make it okay if my joke offended you, you're going to come up and smack me. Like, absolutely not. It is absolutely never okay to just like, doesn't matter if it was closed fist or open hand, okay? Just, you don't want to touch people like that. And if you happen to choose that route, which we do not condone or support, maybe not do it at one of Hollywood's biggest nights on national TV for many to see. So there was a lot of thoughts in that, and I know since then we've gotten both sides the apologies. We had a couple statements from the Academy, and I've had some times to kind of think about it. I don't condone what was done on stage. I think, thinking back, and obviously I'm not him, I'm not in that moment, so I'm not feeling what he's feeling. But I was, as a fan of Will Smith and his work, I was hoping he had chosen to gun up there and scolded Chris Rock. Maybe get it if you want to get in the man's face because you're mad, sure, but you're not touching him, you're not yelling at him. I mean, you're not hitting him, right? And maybe say, that's not something to be joked about. And then gone back to his seat. So then that when he got up, what it feels like 20 minutes later to accept the Best Actor award didn't seem so awkward because we haven't come back from that. I was so distracted for the rest of the night. I was so I don't even feel like I was listening to like Jessica Chastain's speech or Questlove's speech, because I was so trying to process, was that real? Or was it a planned bit that they're gonna be like, ha, gotcha? I don't know. So
it was great. I mean, I've talked about it on a number of shows, and what I'll say is this now in retrospect, and all these days later, I mean, I didn't clip out my reaction to put it on Twitch because I didn't know how to feel about it, and I think I was still processing it, and we did I did the watch along in there, and then the next day I just felt really weird. The next day I felt like now that I think about it, I wonder if there was a little bit of that kind of like, I don't know what you call it when you like survive a trauma or survive a moment and you're just kind of like weirded out the next day. That's what it felt like to me. And I think seeing so many angry people about the slap, so many people who were unsettled, seeing people battle who were friends or colleagues online on Twitter about it was really kind of shocking to me. And I went back and forth with some people, and then eventually I just was like, around midnight of that night, I deleted all my tweets in response to anybody. I left a couple of my tweets up, but I deleted all the other ones because I just didn't want to keep adding to the toxicity of the discussion that was developing there. And then after a couple of days, I just kind of realized, and I talked about it on Geek Buddies, like, okay, here's the deal. I think he told a shitty joke, and I understand Will's impulse, but in the end, violence is never the answer. And so if this was at a bar, nobody would care. But the fact that it was the Oscars, that's why it was a big deal. And yeah, I mean, comedians have been confronted physically by fans or by listeners or by hecklers for decades. I'm sure it goes all the way back to caveman days when the first stand-up comic was making joke about someone or someone's wife there in the caveman fire pit and got punched or something like that. So the reaction is not a surprise in terms of the anger. Violence is the surprise. And I saw people make a huge deal out of it, saying that he lost his mind. And I don't know if I'd go that far. I think
it's a lapse in judgment.
Yeah, lack of judgment. I agree. Lapse in judgment. I think he got pissed, saw Jada's reaction, got pissed, stood up, walked straight to Chris Rock, and then smacked him and sat back down and said what he needed to say. He was not screaming at him the whole time he walked up there like a madman. He wasn't screaming the whole time.
He didn't even like run up there. I think that would be the behavior of someone who was like extremely mad and like really snapped. Was just run up on stage, because it's not like he had that far to go. Like, sure, it wasn't it wasn't a,
Yeah.
a hike, but because he
Right.
was sitting right up in front and center. But if he was done shoved and like pushed him to the ground,
Right.
like that would have been okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And and I think at the end of the day, I think he obviously he's issued that apology. I think he realized that he did wrong because it ruined his moment, as you said, which would have capped how many years of being in the business, getting that Best Actor Oscar finally, which is something Will has been kind of craving since 6 Degrees of Separation, way back
Mm,
when with Donald Sutherland, I think Stockard Channing, based on that play. That was Will saying, "Hey, I really want to do this. I really
yeah.
want to actually be an actor." And so to see it come to this moment and then have it ruined in this way, it's just a shame. A lot of people are, oh, I can't look at Will Smith the same way. But I like that we have a social media that calls out people. For example, Zoe Kravitz tried to be glib about it and promote herself by saying, "Oh, this is the pink dress that I wore to the ceremony where we apparently slap people," and then put another picture of her second dress. "This is the dress I wore to the party after we were at the event where people apparently slap each other." And then people went after her for supporting one of the fashion designers who's been accused of numerous sexual assaults, and for her kind of having feelings for Will Smith's son when he was 14 years old. She talks about it in an interview. So people outed her like, "Hey, who are you to say these kinds of things?" And I thought that was great. So some people tried to make a meal out of it and tried to use it for their own benefits. And that's where I thought it became unsavory for me, So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And that's why we said that we were going to talk about it real quick and then
yep.
we're going to move on
Let's
to it
move on.
because there are
Okay.
so many other fun things at the Oscars that we can talk about. The
Let's do it.
awards, the performances, the hosts, and
Yeah.
of course the winners. I straight
Yeah.
up cried when Troy Kotzer
Yeah.
won
Yeah.
best.
That was great.
Yeah, that because I was really hoping it was going to be him. But again, when you look
Yeah.
at these categories and you look at the nominees, you're like, honestly, they all worked, they all performed well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I was really hoping because I loved Coda so much. So I was really happy that he won. I thought there was a lot of tender, sweet moments between him and Yaj. Oh gosh, I'm gonna mess up her name, but
Yeah.
the actress from Minari and from Pachinko, who
Yeah.
presented the award, and I thought she did a great job. I thought the moment between Lady Gaga and Liza Minnelli
Oh,
was
yeah.
very sweet.
It's really nice.
I had no idea that Liza was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Well,
So I guess sometimes you think about these iconic Hollywood stars and you just don't
Yeah.
think about them aging, I
Yeah.
guess.
Never
Like how you
occurs.
think of your parents, you're like, "Oh, they're never gonna get old. They're the
And then
same
you see
age."
them when you go visit them one day and you're like, "Oh my god, no,
You're
it's
like
happening."
yes, exactly. Exactly that. I thought there were a lot of really great speeches. I do want to pick your brain though,
Okay.
Rocha,
Okay.
about the live performance of We Don't Talk About Bruno, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
hadn't talked to you about this. We were excited about it.
I was very excited about because Dos Uruguitas was
Beautiful.
incredible. Incredible. I
Yes.
was crying on my watch along watching that. I really could barely get a word out because I was just so emotional about it. As I've said before, when your parents are from South America, are immigrants, have a love story, it connects to you. And seeing that in the film, seeing that song essentially be the song about grandma and her husband, her love there. It was so beautifully performed. We Don't Talk About Bruno. Leguizamo presenting it but not being able to sing on it, I thought was a colossal
Did he?
misstep.
He didn't sing in it though in the
Doesn't
movie.
he sing as Bruno in the thing or no? Does he not sing? Oh,
I
well,
think it was. I think it was the
yeah.
voiceover actor for the
No, okay.
cousin.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
But
I
but the,
think. Don't quote me on that. I could be very much
fair
be
enough.
wrong.
Fair enough. But the other actors and actresses who are in the song were not invited to sing their parts at the Oscars. And then instead we got Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I got nothing against Megan Thee Stallion. I think she's a damn good rapper.
Heck yeah.
She's got an incredible career. Go and kill it, girl. Go and make all that money, man. But this is where I think, and I'm going to say this, I'm probably get a little bit of trouble, but this is where I think I get that Will Packer wanted to have a black feeling as you're watching the show, the black culture, the black experience. And I appreciated that. Certainly sitting Will and Jada as king and queen in the front row, center stage, there was great. Seeing, getting the gospel choir for the in memoriam, although I maybe didn't like the in memoriam, I understood the purpose, having 2 Black female hosts along with Amy Schumer. So it's very much, you had that feeling of, hey, we're going to give you a more, how can I say this, a more diverse Oscars, but it's going to have a Black point of view. And I was like, great, let's see what this is. Throwing Megan Thee Stallion in there really was his way of taking something away from the Latino community that was ours and putting a Black presence into it. And I did not like that. I wasn't happy with that. We have so little in this Hollywood world that song finally broke out this movie and became a massive hit. And that rarely happens. No, look, nobody went to see West Side Story. Nobody went to see In the Heights. They went to see Encanto. And so to have a song like that, it should have just been all Latinos, all people from Latinx, and singing and being a part of it, all the actors and actresses. That should have been it. To throw in Megan Thee Stallion, I thought was a bit of an insult to the song. So I did not like it, although I enjoyed everybody else who showed up and did it, especially Stephanie jumping in and out.
Yes.
Her parts was great. But yeah, I thought that rap was not necessary and it ruined the song for me. See, that's my honest truth.
I felt that while I just like you, I really enjoy Megan Thee Stallion, and I personally don't mind her. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't mind her addition to the song at all. However, I re-listened to the song yesterday, just just because it's in my head a lot these days. So I was listening and I kept on thinking about how much I really would have loved to see the movie version as a live performance, because I was looking forward to Dolores's part live. Like that's like my favorite. That and the 7-foot frame Ratalons, like that was waiting for it, right? And then I thought, how the song in the film goes into, he told me my fish would die the next day dead.
Yeah.
We took that part and we let Megan do her thing and rap what she did. That would have been a great way to marry both styles together.
Yeah.
But they took we don't talk about Bruno, and then they had her rap to include the Academy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand the artistic choice there. I didn't really love it. I was really excited when I watched it go down because I've been waiting. But then the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, man, what a missed opportunity to really highlight all the Latin community in this performance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I think Mr. Yasmin 300 in the chat says, do you think Megan was a last minute replacement because Lin-Manuel Miranda was supposed to sing it but couldn't because his wife testing positive for COVID?
I don't know. And certainly Will Packer's not. I don't think Will Packer's come out and said that that's what happened. Very possible. But so, get another Latino actor, get Leguizamo to do it. Get another. I mean, the thing is, it should have just been all Latinos in that song. I'm sorry. That's the way it should have been. And it was a little frustrating to see that. And so, and yes, the Lin-Manuel Miranda positive test, which I think was a day before, 2 days before the Oscars.
What a bummer, man.
He couldn't go. His wife got it. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I think they could have made other arrangements. And the fact that Packer defaulted to throwing in a Black rapper in here, I think was the incorrect decision. And like I said, I had nothing against Megan Thee Stallion. That makes sense.
Would you rather have seen Cardi?
Oh, maybe Cardi. Cardi would have worked for me. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that would have been fine.
I like Cardi too.
Yeah, Latino connection there. I'm cool with that. That would have worked for me. But like I said, you have Leguizamo there. You have other actors and performers there who are Latino. I mean, ask Ariana DeBose.
Drunker Prayer says Shakira. If Shakira came out on stage, I would have fainted. I would have fainted.
Oh my God. If Shakira comes out and does that part.
She's Colombian.
Forget it. Yeah.
Is she not fantastic. Colombian?
Yeah. So I say it would have been brilliant to have her be a
part. Shakira.
That was smart. Yeah, they had Becky G. Luis Fonsi was there as well. So there were other choices that could have been made here. I think Will defaulted to his community and wanted to, give her a shot to do it. And look, her rap was fine. Her
performance was fine. Yeah, we're not knocking her performance.
Absolutely not. I got no complaints about what she did in terms of when she got the opportunity. My issue was I don't think it should have been. I should have been all Latino. We, as I said, we have so little in Hollywood, compared to Black movies and Black shows and Black stuff. Latinos have a very small piece of the pie compared to the Black performers and creatives in Hollywood. So let us have the things that succeed, because we rarely have things that succeed. So let us have them and retain them. I didn't like that. I also didn't like Puffy's music playing underneath The Godfather. That does not need Puffy's music
Wait,
to be a
I don't
classic.
remember that.
Yeah. Puffy introduced it. P. Diddy, whatever he's
Right.
calling himself this year.
Yeah.
He introduced it, and then as the highlights of the reel were going on, Puff's music was playing underneath the whole time. Different songs were transitioning different songs, and I was like, what are you doing? This isn't this is not necessary. This isn't Scarface. This is fucking The Godfather. It does not need that music to elevate it. It's already a fucking classic. So I didn't like that at all. I had a real tough time with that, man.
I don't know how I don't remember that. I sat here and watched the whole thing. Didn't register my head.
I immediately was like, immediately, because I love classic movies.
Oh boy.
Don't do that to my classic movies. All right.
Let's do some breaking news.
What do you got here? The Crow.
Thank you so much to I think it was Mr. Yasmin who put this in the chat. So we have an exclusive from the Hollywood Reporter, Bill Skarsgård, to star in The Crow reboot with Rupert Sanders directing. Wow. This was he always in the running to play?
Not that I know of. No, it was Momoa. Yeah. It was Momoa for so long who was supposed to play the Crow. Jason Momoa.
Interesting. Yeah.
And in the end, they didn't go with Jason Momoa, looks like, and they're going with Bill Skarsgård, which is interesting because there was a It prequel announced earlier this week as well. So is Bill going to do double duty here and be playing both these here? But I don't think Bill is the right choice for this. Like, why are we going? Brandon Lee is Asian. Why are we going with a white dude?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. Unless it's like they're changing it completely.
Yeah.
So the article says Skarsgård will play Eric Draven.
Yeah, it's a Crow.
That's not different.
Yeah, because he's not playing a new character, and Eric Draven was Asian. It was Brandon Lee in the thing. Why is that? I mean, just weird.
Lee was not available.
I'm sure there are 10 Asian actors.
Henry Golding not available.
Henry Golding would be an interesting choice.
And he can obviously do action. Interesting. Not that we don't like Bill Skarsgård. I think he's good. I'm just a little bit curious about this casting choice.
And Rupert Sanders. What was the last thing Rupert Sanders did as a director? Should I be excited or not about this?
21 Bridges.
Okay.
Let's see. Wait, hold on.
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this guy as a director. So, and he did do the first episode of Foundation, or one episode of Foundation.
Well, okay, I do enjoy Foundation.
Okay.
I do enjoy Foundation a lot.
Yeah, this is
Apple TV Plus, guys. If you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, this is not a good combo, Wendy. This does not make me excited.
I am not. I was half excited, half, and then the more I'm reading into this, I'm like, no. It looks like the project is well into pre-production, ahead of a June start date.
Oof.
The shoot will take place in Prague and Munich.
Wow.
The budget is in about the 50 million range.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's probably going to move forward. So I am skeptical.
Wow.
I'm skeptical about this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. What are we seeing here? People are Rocha, the writer of the film, is the writer of King Richard. Oh, interesting.
King Richard, like with
with Will Smith, the movie. So
King Richard. Oh my God.
Right.
Sorry. Okay.
Oof. Yeah, it should have. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. We've got some other breaking news, Wendy. Will Smith has resigned from the Academy. This just broke on Variety 5 minutes ago. Brent Lang is reporting it here for Variety. Will Smith, facing possible expulsion or suspension after he assaulted Chris Rock, has during the last Sunday's Oscar telecast, has instead resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. The move comes as the actor is embroiled in the gravest crisis of his career. As the organization behind the Academy was a struggle as an attempt to deal with the fallout. They claimed, of course, earlier, we didn't talk about this. They claimed earlier, the Academy this week, that they had asked Will to leave the ceremony, but then sources told Variety that nobody formally requested he be ejected. And that
apparently Chris Rock was not even asked if he would like Will Smith removed.
Yeah. So, okay. So he is resigning from the Academy. I think that's the smart move. That way you kind of take it out of the Academy's hands and you
Does that mean
do.
he gives his Oscar back?
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
he
what it
keeps.
means?
Oh, he's absolutely keeping his Oscar. There's no way they were going to
Okay.
take the Oscar away from him.
Oh, I
But
see.
I think this is a smart move because A, he takes the decision out of the Academy's hands, so the Academy isn't embarrassed by whatever decision they make. And
Mhm.
B, he gets to resign for a while, go and do whatever it is, damage control that he needs to do. And in a way, it's kind of reclaiming the power in the situation. You know what? I'm not going to let you punish me. I'm going to resign. And so,
Mm.
in a way, this is a smart move by Will on so many levels. And then eventually down the road, people will forgive him. People will look past him. I mean, it's one moment. Will has given us what 30 years of entertainment and laughs and fun and joy. One moment of losing control in an effort to defend his wife, whether
Mm.
you like it or
Mhm.
not, should not overshadow everything else he did. He did not just all of a sudden start wailing on Chris Rock till he was a bloody mess on the ground. It was a slap, sat back down, cursed at him, and that's it. So to me, this is a smart move by Will to kind of take the decision out of other people's hands, take control of his life a little bit more, focus on healing from this. And I think the smart thing now is, okay, you've done this, you've taken it out of the hands. Now start doing some anti-violence PSA, start contributing to these organizations, do some work for yourself, on yourself and stuff. And it's kind of take some time to be Will
Yeah.
Smith. I think that's a
Yes.
smart move. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like, he is done working, he doesn't
Yeah.
just have to act. This man has created so many other outlets for himself. The
Yeah.
man's on TikTok. He's got a very successful YouTube channel
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is quite entertaining. But I think first and foremost, he definitely can take a break
Yeah.
from all this. There's a lot of attention on him
Yeah.
right now, and I think
Hmm.
good on him for making that. I imagine it was not an easy decision
No.
to
No.
to sit there and make this, but
Yeah.
he made the decision, and
Yeah.
he's like, I screwed up, I fucked up,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try to fix it and apologize and be better. So this is another step in that direction.
And Hollywood always forgets. I mean, Hollywood always gets over it. I mean, Mel
Mhm,
Gibson
mhm.
got nominated for a Best Director for Hacksaw Ridge. After all that shit he did, he got nominated for that. Roman Polanski won after all the shit he did, and Hollywood does forgive and forget. Just gonna have to be out in the wilderness for a little bit, doing your thing, and then eventually people are gonna want him back and be a part of it, and he's gonna keep speaking about it. And eventually, him and Chris Rock, I guarantee you, will have a moment where they joke about it, either in an interview or some get
Next year's
together on
opening,
TV.
next year's
Next
opening.
year's opening. Oh my God. No way. No way.
Can you imagine?
No way they would do that. But it's an interesting thing to think about for sure.
Oh god.
Uh,
No, they
and
wouldn't they would never touch it
yeah,
ever again.
exactly.
Yeah.
And thanks to MK Sonberg, who tagged us on Twitter with that breaking news there.
Thank you.
Will Smith resigning. We also got some bits here from Daryl_unfiction. Says Morbius is 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. You have to be a fool on April Fool's Day to see a movie there, to see the movie there. So yeah, what do you think?
I don't look. You and I both saw the movie. The embargo has lifted, so I feel
Yeah,
safe talking about it. Sans spoilers. The
right.
trailers really had me, pretty like optimistic about this film. It looked entertaining. I enjoyed Jared Leto's acting.
Yeah.
Matt Smith is in it, and I was like, oh, that's all I need to
Right.
know. Matt
Exactly.
Smith is great, the Doctor.
Doctor.
So, I was looking forward to it. I don't think I do not think it deserves the
Yeah.
15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is it a great movie?
Yeah.
No. Is it a fine average movie? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I feel like the editing is pretty choppy. I felt like there are some plot holes that, you and I were kind of talking about pre-show.
Sure.
Um, Talking about how they didn't explain certain things, felt like heavily over edited.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, for time, we gotta keep this to a certain, runtime or something like that," and
Yeah.
they just kept on editing it down to its bare bones, where I'm like, "But how does this get from point A to we just skipped all the other steps and we just
Yeah.
go from there?" It's pretty formulaic. The CGIs at times are iffy.
Yeah.
The end credit scene, I'm not even gonna. It's not the best end credit scene. If you want to get up and leave once the credits start rolling,
Oh my God.
you may. That I would say, out of everything for the whole movie, it's probably my least favorite part of the film is the end
Yeah.
credit scenes.
Yeah. The post
Um,
credit scenes are terrible.
yeah, it's not the
Oof.
best.
No.
It's in all the post credit scenes. I'm just like, okay. But I 15% feels really harsh for just a popcorn
Yeah.
superhero comic book flick.
Yeah, look, Daniel Espinosa is not a bad director. So to me, I think maybe this was Sony coming in going, no way, chop this up to 90 minutes. That's what worked for the 2 Venom films. We made a crap ton of money off those Venom films. Cut this down to 90 minutes. What about character beats and story and motivation and some layers? Fuck that. Cut it down to 90 minutes. We're going to make some money off this thing. And I think that's what happened because both those Venom films are devoid of plot, devoid of character development, devoid of anything seemingly coming close to a good film, in my opinion. So seeing film Twitter, and that's what I like. Sometimes I don't like to be called film Twitter, but seeing film Twitter go crazy about Morbius and try to destroy it and kill it, I think there's an unhealthy hatred of Jared Leto amongst the film Twitter that kind of bothers me a little bit because I think Jared is a fantastic actor. And yes, I'm sorry he sent Black Roses, and I'm sorry he sent a dead rat, and I get it. Some people get super upset about that shit. I get it. But at the end of the day, he's a damn good. People like working with him. People enjoy working with him. I mean, him and Anne Hathaway are fantastic on We Crashed. I liked him in House of Gucci, even though people want to make fun of his accent. Because he understood the assignment. Ridley Scott was not making a serious film. It was a funny take on this whole madness of rich people. And I thought him and Matt Smith were equally struggling to make something out of this script, which is not a good script. And I found it watchable. I didn't think it was terrible. It's not a good movie, but it's watchable. Someone said it's a rental, and that's great. A rental, a Saturday afternoon when it's on.
Yeah,
TV.
and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about the 15. I don't disagree that I predicted that it would fall in the rotten category on Rotten Tomatoes, but the 15, I was like, oh, that's a lot lower than I expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Is like I see movies that's worse. You and I both have seen movies that's way messier, way more terrible with worse CGI, and so that's that. And I think with that said, since we've got not too much time left.
What's the business?
We can maybe jump into our next little segment there.
Okay.
Did you get to see Moon Knight first episode?
I did.
And what are your thoughts?
First 4 episodes. But first episode, I did a non-spoiler review, which I dropped a couple days ago. And then the Geek Buddies this morning dropped our spoiler review with our guest, Mike Kalinowski, joining us, who's a massive Moon Knight fan, just like I am. So we had a lot of fun discussing it. Yeah.
Really?
He's a massive Moon Knight fan.
I thought Mike was always a little bit more like DC Batman, Superman.
He is, but because Moon Knight essentially is the Batman of the Marvel
a little
universe,
bit.
He's connected to that thing, and plus he has the kind of James Bond vibe to him with the Mark Spector aspect of it all. I think that appeals to Mike. But so we talked about. I'll say I loved the first episode. I thought it was some of the best episode of Marvel television I've seen in a long time. I like that we got to get to know Stephen Grant, which is not usually the primary personality in the Moon Knight world. Getting to see his world, getting to see Oscar Isaac play a low status character like this guy, nebbish, being pushed around, only talks to a dude dressed in gold as his friend who doesn't talk back to him. His mom doesn't pick up the phone. He eats hard chocolates in sad moments, and all of that. I thought it was really great. And then when Mark Spector finally shows up near the end of the episode, the back and forth between them is fantastic. My fellow Geek Buddies thought they didn't like that Mark Spector didn't have a different look to him, that he looked essentially the same as.
Because that's what the idea would be. You're not changing your.
Yeah,
it's a personality shift. It's not an appearance, so we're not Transformers.
Right. Exactly, totally changing. Yeah, you're right. Like he does with Moon Knight when he becomes Moon Knight. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. But I enjoy it. I like the script. I like the acting. Loved the Ethan Hawke kind of cult leader approach to it, which is something they're doing completely from scratch with this character. This character is not a cult leader in the comics. Richard Harrow. He is a pain specialist, which means he explores and tests
a pain specialist.
Yeah, like what essentially in the comics, he sees what the Nazis did when they were testing on people and says they didn't go far enough. that they got to push the pain even farther. Exactly. So opening the episode with him crushing glass and putting it in his shoe, that also gives you the feeling of like Paul Bettany in the Da Vinci Code, someone who's whipping themselves to feel closer to a god or to God. That's works so well because that tells you how far he's willing to go in order to win. So he's a formidable foe for Moon Knight and Khonshu. And I liked F. Murray. I loved hearing his voice.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I don't know about, what did you feel?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it is, and I know people keep saying this, like, oh, all Marvel shows. I say this too, like, all Marvel shows on Disney Plus are different, but this feels the most different from
Yes.
all of them. It is
Agreed.
dark, it is wacky and weird, and it is gritty. And it, as the episodes progress on, you guys know we've seen the episodes already. Just can't talk about those other ones because plot points and surprises. It gets better and darker and weirder, and it just leaves you wanting more. And I happen to be out at Disneyland on Wednesday, which is the day that the show premiered. So typically, as soon as a character has made their appearance into the MCU via like a TV show or the film, they put them in Avengers Campus because that's what it's built for. So I was like, are we going to get to see Moon Knight? We didn't see him throughout the day, but he definitely, as soon as the sun sets, 7:30, bam, first appearance in the park, and he comes up. There's fog and smoke, and he comes up. He doesn't say anything. He just stands there and watching the eyes glow. Just awesome. The costume. It was really sick, and to see the amount of people like yelling his name, it was really cool to see. So the next time you're at Avengers Campus in the evening, make sure you look up, and you might find Moon Knight.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one character, because there's already video online of people videotaping Moon Knight appearing there at Avengers Campus, and the way he does at the top of the building and stuff, pretty cool. So if there was one thing I could play there, if I would want to play there, it would be Moon Knight for sure. That looks so awesome.
Just wear the suit.
Looks so great. Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
and it had a nice swishy cape.
And you guys are in for a treat the next 3 episodes too. I think that's it's depends on how you feel about how they're taking the direction of the show. But the fact they gave us all 4 episodes, Wendy, ahead of time, and then we have only 2 episodes left. It's kind of an interesting situation.
We have to wait so long until that shows up. So I'm just gonna rewatch every week anyways because it's fun.
Eventually down to just 1 episode.
And I like that just one tiny it's not an Easter egg, just really me observing. It was on my, I guess you could call it the third watch, because when I'm editing the reactions, I'm basically rewatching the entire episode and certain scenes over and over and over, because that's what happens when you edit. And there's several times that they play with a split image of 3. In Moon Knight. And I thought that was a nice nod to the 3 personalities that we probably will see because of his DID. We've got Jacob, Mark, and Steven.
Right. Exactly.
So somebody said there's a 4th one. They're like, the 4th is Moon Knight. I'm like, well, that's sure, we can see it that way, but like DID of like some of the altars that he has. Those are it.
To me, I'm wondering how far we're going down the lane with Moon Knight. Are we going to get Midnight Suns? Because Blade is coming. Daredevil's in the mix now.
Probably, yes.
Is Ghost Rider going to be introduced in some way, shape, or form? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And the other side of this is they mentioned the Ennead in the first episode. What does that mean? Or how are we going to deal with Egyptian gods now in the MCU? We've dealt with Asgardians. We've dealt with Eternals. How are we dealing with Egyptian gods? So I'm very curious to see how that's going to all shake out by the end of the series. If they even address it by the end of the series, this could just be groundwork they're laying for an MCU feature film coming down the road. We shall see.
Yeah, it probably is. It's going to be like the next huge ensemble, or like phase 6 or something crazy like that. Thank you so much to Brennan Marr, who resubscribed, who has been subscribed for 7 months. The Mystic is here, guys. Brennan Marr.
Thank you, Brennan. And of course, brother, sending you much love for what you're going through. You have our thoughts of comfort and our love for you, brother. And, just sending it to you, my man. And thank you so much for resubscribing. And also, Mumra sent us 25 bits.
Thank you, Mumra.
I can't find it right now, Mumra. I can read it, but I can't find it there on the screen just yet. It says, how do you feel about Jim Carrey's comment on the slap? I saw some people calling him a hypocrite by bringing up his forced kiss on Alicia Silverstone at an award ceremony. Thoughts? Yeah, agreed. I think people shouldn't shoot their mouths off without realizing shit in their past. And yes, people brought up that he won, I think, an MTV Movie Award because he said, I think he said, yeah, I think he said he would have slapped or punched. Oh, what did he say? He was sued him for $200 million. Is I think what Jim Carrey said about the slap. He would have sued Will Smith for $2 million. He says, I was sickened. You do not have the right to smack somebody in the face because they said words. I don't disagree with that. He said, but he did say, I was sickened by the standing ovation. Hollywood is just as spineless and mass, and it really felt like a clear indication that we aren't the cool club anymore. That's bullshit. All right, people were in shock, and Jim, who supposedly has done a shit ton of therapy, needs to understand that too. Like, people are just in shock. No one had ever experienced this before on an Oscar ceremony. So they stood up. You saw Cody Smith. He was like a zombie. He was just like he didn't know what to do. Do I stand up? Do I whatever? Do I clap for him? So it was really weird. And people didn't know if this was just between him and Will. This was some old beef or something. People didn't know how to process it. So they stood up. They weren't going, oh, fuck yeah, Will Smith, smack some more people. They were just like, I guess, yeah, it was a great.
I think the standing up was more for he won.
Yeah, exactly.
Not for.
He's just kind of mentioned. Yeah. So, yeah. And, he said, Will Smith has something. He came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that he's frustrated. Of course, everyone's an amateur psychologist. He said, he's done great things. I don't have anything against Will. This was not a good moment. It cast a shadow over everyone else's moment. And so in the end, I think what he said here is pretty strong words, of course. It says he should have been escorted out and all of that. But then, yes, people brought up Jim Carrey forcibly kissing Alicia Silverstone when he won an MTV Movie Award. And it was a bad look. And people were like, well, you violated her fucking personal space. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I say so. I barely, I don't even remember this. So I just watched this very old video. It was years ago. And it made me very uncomfortable. She had her hand on his shoulder like, all right, enough.
Yeah, here's
and then just her look afterwards, like,
you're a woman, she was pulling away physically from him.
Yeah, she was right? that was like, okay, enough, and she's trying not to like embarrass him.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh boy.
Can't have the audio. So you see it here.
She endured it.
Yeah. She was
like a freaking professional.
Yeah, that is not like you can tell she's like, what the hell? So, and just like Adrian Brody with Halle Berry, men were swagging around thinking they could take something from women because they were famous. And I think I'm sure Jim was like, I've always wanted to kiss her. I'm just going to do it now. I'm going to take a chance. And that's not how it works, pal. So
if we're going to get that up close and personal to me, we better have talked about it. A pre-planned thing previously, or I don't know. It's not gonna look. My mom always said you don't put your hands on other people. She was like, unless when I went to school, she's like, you don't hit people. Okay. I was like, okay, Mom, I wasn't planning on just going to hit people. And then she waits just a little bit before the bus pulls away. She's like, unless I hit you first. And I was like, Mom,
I'm confused now, Mom. What are we doing here? Oh, so funny. Oh, man.
People, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. We're running out of time here, Wendy. Where shall we go next?
Let's see. I think we can go into what's coming soon and recommendations to wrap up the show.
Sure. Let's do it. In terms of what we already reviewed episode 1. So coming soon, what do we got coming out? Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is next week, as well as I think Fantastic Beasts. It's coming out quite soon as well. And social embargo has lifted, but John and I can't really give you guys our review
not
yet because it's too early for that. So just so look forward to that our reviews are coming soon, as well as the film. For recommendation, I'm gonna go outside of my normal TV show or movie. And I'm gonna go with a YouTube video because we didn't get to K-pop Corner today. So there's a new group. Just because it's small news, so I thought we can drop it off the lineup. There's a new girl group by the name of NMIX, which they debuted for quite a few months now, and they're under the JYPE label, which is the same label that houses Twice and Stray Kids, and they actually did a nice live band acoustic cover of Blackpink's "Kill This Love," and they I generally, when other groups cover Blackpink, I generally like their performance and the passion they're putting into it, but there's something about the way Blackpink sings their own song that I don't feel many covers are, kind of can be as good as the original, other than one of the Stray Kids a long time ago, right before they debuted. I think they did a cover of one of their songs. I think it was do 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 do, and I was like, man, that's pretty good. But NMIXX covered "Kill This Love," and it was just like vocal heaven. Put on a pair of headphones and listen to their version of "Kill This Love." Oh my gosh, the vocals are no joke, and it makes me sad because this group, their debut song. There are parts of it that I really like, but if you listen to the whole songs, it doesn't, for me anyways, it still doesn't make sense to me. It's just kind of everywhere. But with that said, I can still recognize how talented these girls are. They're all super beautiful. Vocal is no joke. Dance moves, no joke. So make sure you give them some love and check out their cover of Blackpink's "Kill This Love."
Okay. A lot of people in the chat are asking us to address the Ezra Miller situation real quick.
Yes. Okay.
So we should say that. What do you want to say about Ezra Miller here?
Well, I was so surprised to see this, and I thought that maybe somebody was harassing him.
Okay.
At a bar. This is me reading the headlines, and I thought, oh my god, somebody gave him a hard time because he's going to be the Flash, or maybe they didn't like him in Fantastic Beasts or something like that, and they got in his face, and he kind of fought back at a bar. And it wasn't that. It was really him. This lady was just at a karaoke in Hawaii, doing her thing as people do at a karaoke bar. But he more than wasn't having it, and he got up and so for disorderly conduct, he was a disturbance of peace, I believe. He was arrested. In Hawaii, and this, I believe, makes it the second time that he's kind of been in a situation like this. There was that weird video that everybody saw where he kind of did like a weird neck thing, like a choke to a fan. And I don't remember what it was exactly, the moments leading up to that. Were they harassing him? Was it unprovoked, kind of like this? I am not sure, but that news came out before I watched Fantastic Beasts, who we know he plays Credence in the movies. So it made me feel a little weird watching him on screen, because I do enjoy his performances, but at the same time, I'm like, am I supporting his behavior? Because I don't think you should just be walking around karaoke bars and harassing people, assaulting people.
I wonder sometimes, I think the studios get into a mindset that there's only 10, 12 actors who can act in the entire world. And so if they cause all these problems, we'll deal with it just to get that actor. There's about 40 actors you can get per role all the time. You're just not working hard enough to find them. And that's the truth. And so they're defaulting because they've already shot some scenes, shot movies with him. So, and listen, you do Flashpoint, you're essentially announcing that he is the Flash. And even in that picture of him with Supergirl Sasha Calle and another Flash, the Kid Flash or whatever, it's still Ezra Miller. So you had the chance to cast another actor to be another Flash in another universe. And then if shit happened with Ezra, you could replace Ezra real quickly with that Flash in some way and put him in the central universe that you're focusing on. That could have been a path to walk. But now with this situation, because I mean, he posted in 2020 about killing the Ku Klux Klan, which,
well,
about that, it's a strong feeling, whatever your feelings are about that, but
it's
still weird. And then him, of course, choking, as you said, and that was during the filming of Fantastic Beasts.
Did he get the cops called for that situation, or what happened?
For the choking?
For the first,
WB just kind of swept it under the rug. That video is gone, by the way. It's the account was discontinued that day, I think, or a few days later, and that video was disappeared. So some people may still have the video and put it up every once in a while, like maybe on YouTube or something. But the original source of the video, the person who posted the video, he took it down, and the account was suspended. So and so now this disorderly conduct and harassment, and Grace Randolph was talking about this, saying that some of the movements of the release of these films was moved around because of the problems with Ezra. So WB, for whatever reason, is doubling down and investing in Ezra. And I think this is going to blow up in their face because with
Well,
Fantastic
they gotta,
Beasts,
yeah, they gotta do something about this
yeah,
because,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
so he was starting to yell. I'm reading the Deadline report.
yeah,
He started yelling obscenities at one point because the patrons began singing karaoke as one would do
yeah,
at a karaoke bar. And at one point, he grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman who was singing,
yeah,
and then later he lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts.
yeah,
The bar owner had asked him to leave and to calm down. Oh, so not just leave, but calm down several times, no avail. So then he was then arrested and charged on both offenses.
yeah,
And a total bail of $500 was set.
yeah.
And then Mumra put this in the chat. I don't know how true this is, Mumra. If you have like the source, let us know.
Yeah, you got
But
source. Don't put shit
Mum
chat if you ain't got the source, please.
yeah. So allegedly,
Yeah.
um, Mumra read that a couple bailed him out, and then Ezra stole their wallet and threatened that couple's life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What?
Well,
Whoa!
here it is. What you were saying, MK Somberg. Ezra Miller has been hit with a temporary restraining order after the Just League star was accused of harassing a couple on the same day the actor was arrested at a Hawaii bar on disorderly conduct and harassment charges, according to court records. Yeah, so madness.
Oh my.
And Brian Brawler sending us some cheers wants to know what drugs is this guy on? Yeah, not good ones. Not good
Well,
ones. Thank you for the cheers.
yeah, there needs to be some talking. I think he
Yeah.
needs to get some talking to and
Yeah.
straighten this out because this is not okay. You can't just go around getting mad at people at a karaoke bar.
As the kids say nowadays, this is not a good look. This is not a good look for
Not
you,
a good
Ezra.
look.
It's a bad look, and now it's a bad look for WB. WB now needs to deal with this and the fallout from this. And they keep trying to brush that. I mean, at some point, it's the thing is
People
going
are
to
going to call them out for sure.
exactly, and stuff's
They
going to
haven't
seep out
already.
from under the rug.
Yeah.
You can't hold down too much. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll keep tabs on it for sure. Real quick, Wiley OFC has resubscribed to tier 1 for 2 months. Thank you, Wiley. And also
gifted, yeah.
Gifted 5 subs out here. 1 to Theral _unfiction, 1 to MK Somberg, Brian Brawler, Mumra, and Travis Earl 85.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And thanks, Brian, for those
4. Throw those emotes in the chat. Throw those John and Wendy faces in the chat for Wiley, guys.
Come on, guys. We got those things out there for a reason.
Yeah. Put our faces in the chat.
Yeah. Did we finish with everything, Wendy? Are we out of here? Wait.
I believe we did. Unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Yeah. What did I want to? Oh, the shows. Yes. So here today, The Outlaws is out on Amazon Prime. I got a chance to see the whole season early. Can I tell you, it's fantastic. So that is out. Go and watch it. Also, Slow Horses, the Apple TV spy series with Gary Oldman is out, and I can't wait to watch that and sink into those episodes and watch those as well. So both of those are out now for you to watch. And then later on this week, Tokyo Vice, the Michael Mann series, is coming out on HBO Max on April 7th. So put that on your calendar. That HBO series is coming from.
We got a hype train going, Rocha. We got a hype train
mean?
going. It's being so many people gifted subs, and yeah, we've got Colossus FN cheering 1,000 bits. Wow. We've got Brian Brawler cheering 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bits. Who says this kind of behavior will continue to catch up with Ezra and W in some way?
Yeah, we shall see for sure.
Hype train, guys. Thank you so much. Level 3. Let's go.
Colossus FN says Simf wiggle. I don't know what that means. So there we go. And then AZ Badfish sent us 100 bits as well, saying,
"Oh my gosh, you guys!
Happy WrestleMania weekend, everybody!" Absolutely, AZ Badfish.
WrestleMania.
Thanks for reminding me. I'm doing a watch along of WrestleMania night 1 and 2. So tomorrow night on the Outlaw Nation Twitch channel, this channel on Twitch, I will be doing a watch along of WrestleMania for you all. And then night 2 on Sunday night, I will be doing another watch along of the other matches at WrestleMania. So I will be busy on the Outlaw Nation channel over the next 2 nights doing a watch along of both of them. So maybe I'll get some new emotes.
Yeah, maybe. Who's going to WrestleMania? Who are the people?
Oh my God, there's so many, Wendy.
Oh, really?
Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. There are so many matches happening at WrestleMania. It's going to be a heck of a night. Brock Lesnar. It's going to be a heck of a night for sure. A heck of 2 nights.
Oh, wow.
It's so big. They stretched it out over 2 nights. So 4 hours one night, 4 hours the next night. Wendy, I will be exhausted come
yeah, you
Monday
are.
morning for sure. All right. Anything else that we need to hit on? Or yeah, I think we're good with everything. Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we're
Okay.
caught up. You guys, thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much,
such a great
everybody.
show, for all the cheers and all the bits and the gifted subs. You guys are amazing.
Absolutely. Wendy, where can they find you and everything that's going on if they want to go and watch your reaction to episode 1 of Moon Knight and everything else you got going on? Please tell them.
Please watch it. I don't know why it's underperforming. It's put out the same time as I do all the other ones. And I was like, I worked so hard on the edit. You can find it all on the Movie Couple channel right over somewhere over here. On YouTube, and then you can find me on my socials, just my name at Wendy Lee Zaney. I'm on TikTok as well. So if you want to check out the what Moon Knight looks like on in Avengers Campus, you can go to Wendy Zaney on TikTok. I think I posted maybe on the Movie Couple Instagram as well, but those are just pictures. And on TikTok, I have like videos. So
there you go.
That is that.
Get on it.
Yeah. Where can they find you, John?
They can always find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Got to get on that. Got to do more on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, we're going to do it. The Outlaw Nation on Twitch, as you see here, for those of you who are watching it later on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go there, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Or if you're watching it later on YouTube, subscribe down below and hit that bell button so you see when I'm dropping all the content. Leave a comment, leave a like. It's all important for sure. And for those of you who join us every week, please tweet this stuff out. Tweet stuff out. Clip out some clips, whatever you want to do. Put it out there to bring more support to the show. We got to get some more views on these episodes for sure. We really appreciate it here on Twitch because we're having a great time with you. We want to build the community out and have fun on Fridays as people are winding down from their weeks. Come hang out with us on a bright, fun, awesome show. So thank you all so much. And yeah, don't forget about the Patreon as well. Patreon.com/John Rocha. We got the Outlaw Nation Movie Trivia League happening behind the paywall of the Patreon. You can be a part of it. Play singles, teams, movie-specific matches, 50 questions about a movie going back and forth to see who wins. Incredible stuff going on. Go be a part of that as well. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Wendy Lee, love you madly. Another great show. And you all take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you next week with another brand new live episode of the John and Wendy Show. Peace.
Bye.